Welcome back to Bobblehead Homestead. My name is Jeff. I've got a mess of weeds behind me that I want to take care of today. I don't consider many things weeds, but these are the Thorny Greenbrier, which the young leaves are edible. So, you know, what can you really call a weed? Is there any such thing as a weed? There's no such thing as a weed. Everything has its purpose for whatever it is. I don't like the purpose of those greenbriers hanging around these trees. So that's one thing I couldn't do with the skid steer. So I'm gonna get out my weed whacker, gloves, battery, and we're gonna get rid of the greenbrier around these trees. Can you see them? Yeah. There's 2 pine trees. I would like to get those pine trees out of here. They're too close to the power lines anyway. And so far, yeah, anyway. But until then, I do not want thorny vines growing up everywhere, and they're starting to take over. Let's take a look, and then I'll get to work. Yep, I'm out here, front yard, driveway. Got a spigot right there. So another project I need to do is put some cement around the base of that spigot to, you know, secure it in place. But the spigot here, and Greenbrier. You know, pick those leaves and throw them in a salad. I'm not much on that. I have eaten a leaf though. But this tree is covered in them. That tree is covered in them. So, and these things just keep coming back. So basically, that tree's got all over the place. You know, if you don't keep at them, they're just going to take over. So I'm going to get at it because I didn't do it last year. And then I can clean this up. I need to move. I don't know where those chairs came from. They just kind of showed up. And I have no idea. But all right, time to get to work. Thorns everywhere. Today's tool of choice is my DeWalt weed whacker with the blade attachment. Yep. I specifically bought that DeWalt because it has other attachments for it. If I need the string attachment, I got that for it too. But I've also got a pole saw attachment for it. I've got a little tiller attachment for it. And there are other attachments you can get for it too. But the steel blade is good for the Greenbrier. So that's my tool of choice today. good deal. I put a hurting on all that Thorny Greenbrier. I don't really care that it looks better. It does look a little better. But, yep. Because it'll take over a tree in a season. And I got all the little stuff popping out of the ground. And it's not gone, but it is severely thwarted for this year. That's the thing with Greenbrier, it keeps coming back. You just got to keep at it, and eventually it should peter out. Speaking of thorny plants, I'm out here in front of my house. Yeah. So that's back in there is where I want to move the chickens. But right here is my septic system, and you see all this white flowery, these I do believe are dewberries. I had dewberries at my first place too. They are thorny and they taste really good. They're just not very big and there's not very many of them, but I do have a patch of dewberries growing right here by my septic tank. So I don't want them here. They won't stay here. They can stay here for now. Oh, and then, well, let me walk over there. Then out here at the end of the house, I've got some either blackberries or black raspberries, I don't know. But nice white flowers. And then the berries will be coming after that. These are also thorny, and these also do not need to stay here. Next project today is I'm going to fix this door. So what I do is at the top of it, I put a little fencing staple and hammer it in there so that it connects the top with the cattle panel. And those just came out for whatever reason, so I just got to redo that. And then it'll be ready for a tarp. Is ready for a tarp, and I didn't buy one at the store. I decided to order one because I ordered one that's thicker and more heavy duty for the same price that I could have bought one at Walmart or Tractor Supply. So that'll probably come in Thursday or Friday, but this one is ready. All I have to do is I have to run the wire from the shed over here for this electric fence, and I'll do that tomorrow. I just got to unravel a wire. The shed's behind me, and then this is where you connect it at on the ends. So probably tomorrow night I'll start moving them out of the coop brooder into their own flock. So there'll be, you know, fewer of them per flock, and I'll start opening the door so they can get out and run around. They might be big enough that this fence will keep them in, but they might be small enough that they can get through there without getting shocked, because they're you know, small enough. There's no meat on their bones to shock, so the electric doesn't affect baby chicks. It's not until they're older. But yep, just about ready to move them out here. I think I'll do the white and true blues and the black copper marans hens, put them in there, and then I'll do all the speckled Sussex in here, and then I'll just have the golden penciled Hamburgs, and they're smaller, so, and you know, with the other chickens out of there, they'll have more room. So I'll and then I'll probably move the golden penciled Hamburgs into the flock with my 3 hens. We'll, you know, one step at a time. Cool. first brave one. Well, not quite. Yeah. These are whiting true blues from Murray McMurray Hatchery. They're a blue egg breed that have no standard feather color. And this was only a few of them that I could snag because they were hungry. There you go. Last one out's a rotten egg. Although I like that feather color. Black and white splash. I like that white one in the food bowl too. White with some brown highlights. You're not the brightest chicken in the bunch, are you? This wasn't all of them. This was 12. I fed them. And so they were all, you know, going after the food and not paying attention to me, so I could just reach down and grab them. So I did that. The rest of these I'll get after dark, but I figured I would use this opportunity. Alright, we're done watching you. 12 whiting true blues. A little bit of a variety. A lot of blues in there, which I like that blue gray color. And then a couple of black ones, a couple of white ones. Boys and girls. I don't know 100% yet, but I'd have good guesses on these. And one of the girls in here has a crossbeak, so she will not be bred. And I'm gonna have, anyway. So yeah, this is 12 of 20. They might have sent me an extra, I haven't counted. But so this is a little more than half of the whiting true blues. I have 10 black copper Morans pullets, girls, that I will also be adding to this flock in here. So when they do start laying eggs, the blue ones, I won't put any other, the only roosters in here will be whiting true blues. So if I hatch the blue eggs, they'll be whiting true blues. If I hatch the Morans brown eggs, I will have first generation green olive eggers. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably a boy. That white one is a girl. Alright, good start. And I got the fence hook back up. So instead of daisy chaining off of an existing line, I ran two. You can see there's two wires connected to the red posts. This is my bigger plugged in fence charger, fence energizer, and I got a smaller one there. But these are so much better than the solar energizers that run off battery, because they're only as good as the battery. These, as long as your power doesn't go out, you always know you've got a charge. So this is just temporary out in the front yard, and I ran another line, but I'm running it through the door. There is a hole down there that Wiley did for me. So the ground wire and the other, I just don't feel like running it through that hole right now, because it's temporary. This is the insulated wire, so you know, doesn't matter if it rains or whatever. And then I got it out here and used one of those things to connect the two, so that I've got the clip, so that the clip, I can just take that on and off when I want to turn the fence on and off. So the fence should be on now, but I don't want to test it with my hand, so I'm going to test it with this. project accomplished for today. The fence is hot. And I got bonus. I didn't plan on it, but I got a dozen whiting true blue chicks. I got them moved into their new coop where they will be going. I'll probably leave them locked up in the coop for a few days before I start opening the door and let them run around. Fence is really hot, so that'll be a good chance to train them. And tonight neighbors are coming over to help me put the tarp on this other coop. I got the fencing staples, I got the door fixed. I think I already showed you that. And so all we got to do is put the tarp on. And I can do it myself, but so much easier with more than one person. Especially because there's so many zip ties that go around the ground level. And yeah, you know, I can bend over here and there. I can't do it here, there, and everywhere. So they're gonna come over, I'll trade them some coffee or make them some burgers, or we'll do something. But yeah, getting that tarp on. And then little by little, I'll be moving the chicks out here. And yeah, they'll be good. Getting them separated into the flocks that I want. I'll just have 2 out here. And then the golden penciled Hamburgs I will probably put in with the 3 remaining hens that I have. I want to put a new tarp on their coop also. We might get around to doing that tonight. But yeah, just 3 flocks for now. Now later on, I'll probably separate these whiting true blues and black copper marans. I'll probably separate them into 2 different flocks. I'll have one that's all whiting true blues with whatever feather looks like the blue. So I'll probably stick with the theme, put all the blue whiting true blues in one flock, and then the others with whiting true blue rooster, I'll put it in with the Moran. So I'll have you know, kind of an Easter egger flock with the whiting true blue roosters as the only roosters in there. And then silver spangled golden penciled Hamburgs. I didn't get the silver spangled. I got the speckled Sussex. All these chicken breeds are tongue twisters. Speckled Sussex I'll put into there, and I'll raise them till their adulthood, you know, separate out the extra roosters, pick my best roosters, my best hens, you know, keep a small flock of my breeder flock, and then have a bigger flock for, you know, hatching eggs, stuff like that. That's it for today. I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'll take my camera inside, so I'm not gonna film putting a tarp on. How many times have I done that on this channel? Anyway, there's a bug on the lens. Sorry about that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything, and take it easy.